A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel, guys. I'm going to bring you in on some live kind of testing, although this is more the informal side of testing, where we're going to go through and try and measure the user experience category, which is going to cover how good the instructions are with these products, how good the branding is, how good the versatility of the products. So some of the products do a very good job of telling you different ways they can be used. For example, as well as just a rinseless wash, they could be used as a quick detailer or a clay lube. Some of them make no mention about any other function other than just being used as a rinseless wash. Some of the products have a really good preamble describing what a rinseless wash is. Some of them don't mention the word rinseless wash, and some of them have no preamble. There are instructions on how to use the product as well. Some of them are very good, and some of them literally have no instructions. So we have to go through all of that, and it's quite tiring actually. It's quite mentally draining with 12 products to go through it all and try and rank them on this overall user experience. And I've just gone through and done my first iteration of doing that. And this is what I want to go through with you now and get your comments and feedback, because it's very useful and it gives me a steer. And then what I've got to do is then go through this information, then try and break it down into a set of scores so that ultimately I can assign points to the ones that have done well in all the things we've discussed and the ones that haven't. And then that gives us a category of user experience, which I think is very important. And it's also an opportunity, I think, to feed back constructive criticism that brands can look at and they can say, no, that's rubbish, we're not listening to that. Or they can say, oh yeah, okay, we need to change that. And it borderlines some of it on being pedantic, definitely. But I think some of it is also very, very important. So let's get stuck in. And what I'll do is I've got these notes. I probably will put all these notes into a spreadsheet when I've done, but I have to make so many adjustments and alterations. It's just too difficult to do it on a laptop with the spreadsheet there. It's easier to do it on paper. Maybe I'll put all this on spreadsheets. So this is our user experience. I've done value, I've done cleaning power, and I've done dirt release as well, which you can't see because I've got all these microfibers turned up the other way around. So you won't see that in this video. So first things first, what I've done here is I've gone through all the user instructions and just tried to pick up things that I think could be added or missing. Here's all the things with versatility that I think you could potentially do with a rinseless wash that I want to give credit for. For example, some brands tell you you can pre-soak out your dirt with it first, and others just tell you to just go straight in, get your wash bucket full of the liquid and just start wiping it off. I think it's worth crediting the brands that tell you about this pre-soaking, because I think it's beneficial if you're interested in giving the chemical a better chance to work. I like to use them as clay lubes, so I like the brand to tell me if they can be used as a clay lube and what ratio to use. Panel wipes, some of them can be used to prep panels, so it's another function there that you could use these for. And you know that you could, some people like having really few chemicals, and if you like to have a rinseless wash, and you could use it as a kind of last panel wipe almost before you prep a car, or you could, you know, you've got a car there that's clean, you could go over it with one of these as like a panel wipe and then apply your sealant and wax. That could be quite a cool little feature. I was a bit skeptical about that, but I think after seeing the cleaning power of some of these that they probably can do it. Can they be used as a waterless wash? So a waterless wash really, as far as I know, is you mix up the solution perhaps a little bit more concentrated, or however they tell you, spray it onto the panel and wipe off. And the difference is you don't fill up a bucket with wash solution. So it's a pure, almost like a waterless wash is no bucket full of mixed down water. So it's even more efficient. You're probably just using like 500 ml or 300 ml, however much you get through of solution. So that's good. Some of them can be used to treat bugs. So if you don't want to wash your entire car and you've picked up loads of bugs in the summer. So I'm looking for that in there. I'm looking for the words quick detailer. If some of them say they can be used as quick detailers. Water spot treatment, can they be used as that? Can they be used as interior cleaners? So there's a big range of usage for this, and I like to reward the brands that go you know, tell me about all this. Now, here's something that I've done here. If a brand tell me that the product leaves nothing behind, they're going to get a bonus on that. And I think only one really does. Does the product instructions imply that it leaves a non-permanent form of protection, like a gloss enhancement or a slickness, smooth finish? Then that implies that it's leaving something on the panel which is non-permanent and perhaps not of that much consequence. Or does it leave permanent protection down? Does it have a sealant or wax in it? Semi-permanent protection, I suppose is the correct word. Then I'm just marking on the overall branding. I've also done a mark here for if they put an online QR code down, because it's very difficult on the instructions to get everything there, right? So you could have very minimal instructions and then have loads of amazing online information. I can't go through all of the online information for every single brand, because it's scattered in various places, and there might be multiple videos where they've given you tips and told you how to use it, demoed it in one example, and in another video demoed it in another. So I thought, but just reward the brands that are putting those quick codes in, not URLs, because no one gets their phone out and writes down the URL and punches it in. But I have scanned them and it's really convenient. So I'll reward that way. But in terms of whether they do stuff or don't do stuff or leave nothing behind, I'm going purely on the labels, okay? But I'm rewarding separately if you're investing in that online thing. So let's just go through some of these products, and we'll start here with the Koch. And this is the important thing, that you can sanity check my thought process, and I need to, like I say, translate my thoughts into marks at some point. But you can just tell me where I'm going, if I'm on the right track maybe. So first of all, I think the branding with Koch, I personally think it's really good. It's really clean, it's really efficient, it's really German. The colours do mean something, I think, but I can't remember what. They use acronyms, but then below the acronym you've got the meaning of the acronym. A lot of blank space there, but just your different languages. Car washing without rinseless, okay, rapid rinseless wash, fine, no problems. Here's the meat and veg of it, the user instructions. Now I'm looking for a good preamble on what a rinseless wash is, and I don't think this is the blueprint for the best preamble, but it's not awful, is it? So the wash concentrate for quick and easy exterior cleaning of lightly soiled vehicles without rinsing. So that's their preamble. Cleaning car and preservation of exterior vehicle surface in just one step. The high quality car care components produce a smooth finish. Previously applied polishing waxes are retained. Okay. Areas of use, brilliant. So it tells me what it's for. And the overall instructions there are good, and it gives me a ratio. That's another thing I want to see. I'm just looking for a ratio on the bottle. If they give me that, they get a tick. If they give me a measurement, then they miss out on that little ratio mark, but it won't be much. It'll probably only be 1 mark. I think Koch could improve here by telling us more about what a rinseless wash is. That comes across as a translated piece of text to me from German to English, just the way it reads. I'd love to see a little preamble that says, you know, the Koch Rapid Rinseless Wash is a waterless wash technology, which is an alternative method to traditional car washes and soaps that you can use to wash your car with less equipment without a pressure washer, and you get the added benefit of our solution being on the car during the wash and the drying process, which helps to reduce marring. Something along those lines of the benefits of waterless washing, and also is suitable for people in areas where there are water restrictions or you have limited access to water. That makes our rinseless wash the ideal product for you. Something along those lines, a little preamble, because a lot of the brands just stick on there, this is a waterless wash on the label, and that's it. And people ask me, even in the comments of videos, John, what is this rinseless wash? What is it? Some people don't know. So I think that's important. So generally, the label and instructions on the Koch product are decent, and I went through the instructions verbatim and couldn't find any little stupid things wrong with them. So it's quite a good label, but just lacking that little bit of information about the concept of rinseless wash. So do you agree with that? They have the correct health and safety on there, the product ratios. They tell you not to use it in the sun. They give you instructions that you can use it as a pre-soak and spray it over the car first. But where Koch could be improved is they don't tell you it can be used as a clay lube, a panel wipe, a waterless wash, bug removal, QD, water spot remover, or interior wipe downs. It may well be the case that you can use it as a clay lube and you can use it as all those functions, but they don't mention it. So it just raises the question in my head. Does it leave nothing behind? Well, it implies no on that, because it says it talks about preservation of the surface and leaving a slick finish. So I've implied from that it leaves non-permanent protection down, a film of perhaps material or non-volatile surfactant or non-volatile polymer, whatever you want to call it, on the paintwork. Branding is a good solid 8 out of 10, and it doesn't have any QR codes linking off to social media. So there's my summary of Koch. A good standard actually, but lacking that, really falls short on telling you about how you can use it in different functions. That's its weakness. So how that slots into the overall play, we'll find out. Next up, the Autoglym product. Let's just bring the camera down here. The Autoglym product, let's just start with the branding of this. It's very clean, isn't it? And it's very traditional. Autoglym haven't changed their branding for 70 odd years, with the exception of perhaps little tweaks to this Autoglym logo, where it's like a faded, it's not a solid colour and there's a little board around it, but very similar to what they were doing 75 years ago, and that's done deliberately. So it ties in, it's got the royal stamp on it. It's clean branding, perhaps a little bit sort of domestic maybe, I don't know. It's okay. What did I put on the branding? A 7 out of kind of 10. There's no QR code on this with any link to any other information. I think there's a distinct lack of the word rinseless wash as well. So when this bottle sits on the shelf in Halfords, people will see it, Autoglym QuikRefresh. What does that mean to the layman's dude, you know, going in? Rapidly and effortlessly restores that perfect shine, just wash finish. Oh, is it a polish, is it? A QuikRefresh polish. Micro-emulsion technology. Will they be able to get from that word that this is a rinseless wash? Really think when you offer a rinseless wash concentrate, you should get the word rinseless wash in on that label somewhere. Maybe it's down here. But let's go into the preamble. This is your introduction of what this product is. So QuikRefresh is designed for use between regular maintenance washing. It's still not clear what it is though. To remove light traffic film. Oh, okay, you clean off the dirt with it. Dust and rainfall contamination, refreshing that just wash look in as little as 15 minutes. Dirt is effortlessly and safely removed using micro-emulsion technology, which suspends dirt from the vehicle, minimising any risk and scratches and swirls. So really, even the layman's dude, after reading that, will have a good idea what it is. But ideally with branding, you want him to know what it is straight away when his eyes just catch it on the shelf. So I still think that point about having rinseless wash in the title is useful. How to use? Well, shake it well, pour 5 capfuls into a bucket with a grit guard. What happens if you don't have a grit guard? But I'm not going to penalise them, I'm just thinking out loud. And 10 litres of warm or cold water, fine. Now here's a slight problem. Using an Insta-Dry cloth, apply the wash solution, working from top down, trying to get as much solution on the vehicle as possible. So I understand, you know, they're encouraging you to use the Insta-Dry, but in layman's, you can't follow the instructions if you don't have the Insta-Dry. So sometimes, some brands don't do that. Like, for example, the DIY Detail have got all of that wash media and rinseless wash sponge and all that, but they just tell you to use a cloth or whatever. They don't make it product specific. It's interesting. Return the Insta-Dry to the bucket regularly, rinse and load fresh solution onto the cloth once the whole vehicle has been washed. Wring out the Insta-Dry to remove the excess water and use the Insta-Dry to dry the vehicle. Well, I think one of the downsides with the Insta-Dry, it's got its plus sides as well, is it will never be bone dry. So it's like going over the paintwork with a wet chamois. It's hard to get a bone dry thing going with a wet cloth. The Insta-Dry is not a chamois. It's a synthetic. It's a synthetic drying towel that's designed to be used wet, so you could use it all day long. But yeah, I like to use a microfiber towel and dry that, but I'm not sure if I haven't, I picked up on that. Yeah, I've picked up on that there, that it's a bit reliant on the Insta-Dry. It's become a bit of an Insta-Dry fest in the instructions. QuikRefresh has been designed for use with Autoglym Insta-Dry. Yeah, oh, here we go. For best results, an Autoglym should be used to apply the product. Alternative cloths will not give optimum results. Really interesting. They've elaborated on it, but it does imply you can use alternative wash media, which you can. Will it not give best results? I don't know, because for me, I want that panel bone dry. I don't want to use the Insta-Dry to get the majority of the standing water off. I really want it bone dry with a soft microfiber. So I don't know about that best results, but I don't know. So that's that. But generally, quite hard to fault the quality of the instructions there, and there's no glaring errors. The health and safety is on the bottle at the bottom. No ratio provided, so it doesn't get the ratio mark. No warning about use in the sun. It may be fine that it could be used in the sun, maybe it can, but I want to know, I want to see that on there, and it's just the ambiguity that maybe if I used it in the sun, the solution dries, it's a bit, you could get some streak marks and all that sort of stuff. The Autoglym is poor on delving into all of the different ways you could use their product on the label. Maybe they've got stuff on their socials that goes into this, but can I use it as a pre-soak? Don't know. Clay lube? Don't know. Panel wipe? Don't know. Waterless wash? Don't know. Bug splatter? QD? Water softener? Interior? Don't know with any of them. The preamble really is just focused on telling you that it's an alternative way to clean your car. I don't know if it leaves anything behind or not, because it just doesn't delve into that. I don't know if there's any of the surfactants or polymers, if they're non-volatile, if they create a film on the panel, or if it leaves nothing behind, or does it contain any permanent protection. I don't know the answer, but if I had to guess, because it doesn't talk about it, the answer is no, it's just a cleaning surfactant, and after you've wiped it off, it leaves nothing behind, but it raises the question, and there are examples of brands that answer that question. It's more for the detailing kind of hardcore, that question, but it's a thing, isn't it? With rinseless washes, it's become a thing. So I'd love it if the brands could address that. No QR code with any online links to any online that I can just scan in and go and learn about the product. I think Autoglym have the resources to do that. In fact, if I was a detailing brand, I think that's like the future, the online battleground. You need to be on there. I know Autoglym have got channels and they do stuff on their socials, but I think they could incorporate that into their products. So really, every product you release as a brand, you create a piece on social media. A video on YouTube would be ideal, because it's a reliable place to host it, or even your own website. QR link into that, and I think a good brand would probably set up like a proxy server, because if your link goes bad for whatever reason, or the video gets taken down by YouTube, or something happens, it's a disaster for a brand to have to go and update their labels. So if you link to a proxy server and then link from the proxy server to a destination, you can administer all of that through a proxy, which is going to means you never have to change your branding because of QR labels. So it's something to think about. Wolfgang, okay, Wolfgang, the pink one. Yeah, so let's just go through this logically. Let's start with the instructions. So, Uber rinseless wash. So we know it's a rinseless wash, which is good, German themed. It's a viscous liquid. It's a loose kind of watery liquid that creates 3 gallons of ready to use rinseless wash solution with just 1 ounce of concentrate. Well, what is a rinseless wash solution? So the advantage of rinseless wash is you don't need to hose. You don't need to use a hose or free-flowing source of water to safely clean your car. Okay, well that's a bit of preamble. Wolfgang Uber rinseless wash enhances gloss and slickness, so that implies it leaves something behind, leaving your paintwork with a deep shine after every wash. Can also be used as a clay lube and pad conditioner. That pad conditioner one was one I haven't put in the list of things. They're the only one that claims that, I think. Okay. Dilute 1 ounce of concentrate into the bucket, 3 gallons. Soak a wash mitt and microfiber towel in the solution for 2 minutes, quite specific. Wash panel at a time, starting at the top of the vehicle. After you wash, immediately dry it with a guzzler drying towel. Well, to be fair, I could criticise them the same way as Autoglym with the Insta-Dry, but I think they Autoglym, when it had the Insta-Dry mentioned on every single, or 3 of the 4 lines of the instructions, and a final comment that you'll get optimum results with the Insta-Dry. So they really want you to use the Insta-Dry. Yeah, make sure the entire vehicle is cleaned. And there's the dilution ratio for a clay lube. Health and safety warnings, which is good. No QR code on this. I felt the branding isn't as good on this product. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you think that's harsh or not. I just felt it's a bit old-fashioned. The label's creased up and it's not on the bottle quite straight if you look at the bottom. And just things like that, you know, it's just nice to see. I'm also struggling to work out how to use this diluter. I'm not penalising it for that, but I just struggle to use that diluter without, you know, use that measuring thing in here without tipping it everywhere. I don't know how I can get an ounce in there. Do you squeeze it? Is that how you do it? Oh, it must be the squeeze. I'm really stupid. I'm really thick, so you guys can probably help me. Maybe you've got to take the lid off one side, so because it's as soon as you let go of the squeezing, you lose the air. It's all under air pressure, so maybe the method is to squeeze it. No, now when you've got the lid off, of course, the air pressure's gone. So I don't quite know. There'll be a knack to this, but if you have the lids off and you start tilting it to try and fill that up, you can pour the liquid everywhere. Someone said that their bottles, these bottles leak. No, they don't. Look, I'll just show you. They're fine. But they come with a little polystyrene seal. Take the polystyrene seal off and it won't leak. If you leave the polystyrene seal half in place, it will leak. So I haven't marked it down for that. Right, so the instructions are generally pretty good. One thing I've noticed with this product is there's a bit of an issue with the dye level in it. It's the only product where I'd say the dye level is excessive. And you can see here, these 2 cloths, that one was soaked at 5% PIR, which is a bit stronger than you'd normally use it unless you're using it as that other dilution or you've overdosed it. You probably can't see too much on the camera, but that's quite pinky. And this is also quite pinky, but the camera isn't picking it up. It's bizarre. When I look through the camera lens, it looks pretty similar, but then I tilt my head to the right and look at it, and it's pink. It's just the way the camera exposes. So you can slightly stain your microfiber with this. And that's a no-no for me, especially if you've got nice drying towel, you know, it's white or whatever, or you've got nice wash media and you don't want it to stain pink. I just would rather it didn't do that. So that's a bit of constructive feedback. Health and safety info is there. No ratio, but it does give me the, you know, the correct measurements and everything, but no instant ratio, so I can work out roughly where I'm at with the product. It's actually very concentrated, so it'd be nice if it said 1 to 400 on there. No sun warning there, so I don't know if it's sun safe or not. Pre-soak, yes, it talks about that. Clay lube, yes. None of these other ones. We imply that it leaves non-permanent protection behind. I gave the branding a 5 out of 10 average and no online. So there you go. Let me know if you think that's a reasonable assessment of this. I still will come up with marks for the instruction quality and the preamble quality out of 10, but I've given you a walkthrough of it. Can't really find any major flaws with the Wolfgang. So let's move on now to this one here, which is Armour Detail Supply Hero Rinseless Wash. Okay, so it's got the word Rinseless Wash on it, what I'm looking for. Now, the first problem with this that we said last time, font size is too small. It just is. It doesn't give me any pleasure to say it, but I'm coming right in here. But let's read it anyway. Introducing Hero, an environmentally conscious alternative to traditional soap car washes. This is what's called a preamble, and it's good. You need this. It's telling you what their product actually is. Meticulously crafted to minimize waste and runoff, Hero offers a safe and convenient wash experience, allowing you to wash your vehicle anywhere, anytime. They could just elaborate a little bit on that, but it's still giving you an idea of what a rinseless wash is. There's more advantages there that they could talk about. They could talk about, you know, it's an alternative contact wash method primarily, a versatile product that can be used for sort of all these different functions and stuff. But there's more. Maybe it's in here. Hero was engineered as a rinseless solution that rivals the effectiveness of traditional soap washes. Yeah, good. Delivering unparalleled slipperiness. They don't often use the word slipperiness, as it's usually slickness. An exceptional cleaning power. Hero is a hybrid solution, synergizing active lubricating polymers with specialized residue-free surfactant chemistries to effortlessly dissolve dirt, grime and oils. I like it. Hero incorporates a silica SiO2 backbone, increasing the solution's slickness. However, Hero leaves behind no added protection or durable surface altering polymers. So that implies to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that it does leave behind some surface altering polymers, but they're not durable. So whatever film of SiO2 is on there isn't bonding, and it's not a sealant, but it is leaving something behind. Do you agree with that? Okay, it won't interfere with the integrity of your vehicle's existing sealants, waxes or coatings. Fine, good, actually very good. Yeah, I like to see that. For those seeking a highly effective and safe washing experience without the need of hose or special equipment, Hero is here to save the day. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. It's a bit of, I can tell it's American, but it's good. Dilutions, they do give me ratios, which is great, so they get the tick mark there. I can also use it as a clay lubricant and a waterless wash. Good. So there's certain things they are telling me, but there's stuff there, that applications that haven't been covered. Can I use it on interior wipe downs, door cards, all that, the trim in the door, you can, but from this you sort of wouldn't know that you can. So there's bits missed. Shake it well before dispensing. Good. Inspect vehicle for large particulate debris or soiling. I like those words. Hero is not for use on excessively dirty vehicles. I love that. If needed, pre-rinse the surface with a pressure washer. Well, if you bust out the pressure washer, you bust out your equipment and stuff, I'm less likely to use these myself, but I appreciate them putting that in there because it's good common sense. Like, you imagine like a car covered, you're trying to get it with a rinseless wash. You might get poor results because it's like, you take this for what it is and think, oh, okay, this is an alternative way of cleaning the car. You've never used one before. You put it in the bucket, got a filthy car and it doesn't do a good job. Well, that little statement caters for that scenario because it's sort of a common sense status. If it's really dirty, blast it all off first, maybe even pre-wash it with a snow foam, whatever. For heavily soiled vehicles, liberally spray directly onto the surface using pre-soak dilution. Yeah, which is up there, which is your normal 1 to 256. Good. Allowing slight dwell time for emulsification. Really good information. Using rinseless flip towels or rinseless wash sponge, one section at a time, flipping towel as need to reveal a clean side. Is that poor punctuation? Flipping the towel as needed, they should put. Flipping the towel as needed, not as need, to reveal a clean side. So yeah, again, I think you can always get someone to proofread your label for little punctuation mark, things like that, or grammatical errors. Use a methodical top-down approach. Dry each section as you go. How? With my hands, the hairdryer, with a drying towel. But I don't think I dock any marks there. And the health and safety stuff is there, but it gets even smaller. It gets into ludicrous size. It's like one of these eye tests. This, if you can read all this, you don't need glasses. And then it really starts testing you down here. It has an online code. I looked at it and it takes you to their website. It could be good if it could take you to some really useful product walkthroughs and tutorials, but I still gave it the mark because it's got a link to their socials on it. I'm not going to go hunting through their socials, but I'm sure on their socials there's information on the products. So I think that's pretty good. I do think that's pretty good, but that writing problem, font size, needs to be corrected. And I've gone through there and you can see where I've done about the sun, done about panel wipe, bugs, QD, water spot interior. But yeah, it implies it leaves something behind that's non-permanent. Branding, I haven't really thought about that. I think it's better than the Wolfgang slightly. It's quite clean, it's quite plain. I think it could, I think you could have a stronger brand logo than just the Armour name and then the detail supply. I think you could blow that up a bit and pick a more frivolous font, and do something, incorporate the brand into your logo so you've got a really cool brand identity. I don't know though, not everyone's done that. I didn't mention that with Koch, did I? And like, there's not that much difference, so that's probably harsh. I would say overall that sort of branding is about a 6.5 out of 10. What do you think? Is that harsh or fair? I'm just going to make a note of that. It won't be worth lots of marks. Things like that aren't too important, really. But it's not bad by any means. Now let's move on to the next one, Carbon Collective. So this one has this party trick where it starts off orange and comes out green, which did make me chuckle. But is that a bit gimmicky? Some of you will say it's a bit gimmicky. What's doing that? Why is that technology to change the colour relevant? But anyway, that's not to do with this section, is it? But I was thinking about that. Let's just have a look. So, Evolve Rinseless. It's an ultra concentrated rinseless cleaner that can be easily diluted with the task at hand. This powerful cleaner does not require rinsing, making it perfect for a wide range of surfaces and tasks. Evolve Rinseless can be used at various dilutions in a spray bottle or used in a bucket as a rinseless wash. So there's a decent description of what it can be done, but it doesn't seem to capture much information about dirt encapsulation. It's something I'd really like to see with a rinseless because there's that paranoia around scratching. So you could almost think of this as a powerful cleaning concentrate that you can wash your car with. I love the fact they list, look, that's the blueprint for how to do it. All the different functions and all the different concentrations, although there's no ratio there, so they don't get the ratio marks, but I still love, that's really good because it just gives me so many options with how to use the product. When used with a rinseless wash in the bucket, use with a we suggest use it with a mammoth wash pad and drying towel, fine. Do not apply in direct sunlight, health and safety stuff below that as well. All pretty good. I think the Carbon Collective branding is quite strong, but something about that, I know now why they've done that colour change, because it's like revealing the colour change, but something about that font isn't as clean as the normal Carbon Collective logo. It makes it look a little bit disco-y, not quite as clean. Maybe I'm being harsh, because I still quite like their branding, but I don't know. I think it would be harsh to give them any more marks than the Armour. So I think that's a sort of 6.5 as well on the branding front for me. I don't know what you think about that, but that's kind of where I'm at with the branding. So let's just translate this. Oh, you get a dosage thing. I think it's the only one that comes with a little dosage cap you can keep on top, which is really important because you've got those different dose functions. I like that. Someone was saying they wish the brands could have caps that are like dosing bottles, like you get on the your washing machine liquid. You know, you unscrew the cap and it's also a doser. Yeah, that would cost a bit of money to make for these bottles, but that would be quite a cool little feature, wouldn't it? Rather than just use the cap as a measuring thing. So, but I think that's better than most of them have done. In fact, giving you that. They also give you this, which I don't know actually. I think that's going to be a bit of a nightmare for the distributors to stock all these empty bottles and triggers and send them out with the products. But I don't know, it just takes up a lot of space. I don't know, but you can't criticise someone. I can always throw it in the bin if I don't want it for giving you another bottle. But yeah, I just don't think it's needed. What was I saying there? Oh, you get a doser with it. Yeah, it's a good thing. And a bottle. What's that? Oh, it's okay, the instructions. Yeah, it's okay. Health and safety is good. No ratios. They warn about the sun, so I know to be careful. Pre-soak's covered. You can use it as a pre-soak. You can use it. Oh, it doesn't mention about clay lube. They were so good with giving you all these other alternative methods. But if it's a waterless, a rinseless. You could use it as a clay lube normally, so they missed the trick there. Panel wipe, great. Waterless, no. I did think about this because they said you could can be used to remove dust and fingerprints, but you could with all of these products. When you wash, they'll all remove dust and fingerprints. I was looking for the word waterless wash. Bugs, yes. So it's going to be really good on removing bugs. QD doesn't mention that. Water spots, yes. Oh yeah, water. Okay, because they've got watermark remover dilution ratio. So yeah, I've got to give them the water spot removing. Interior, yes. Glass and interior cleaner, 30 to 970. So they've covered that. So I can use it to clean my interior. Does it leave anything behind? Implied no, but it doesn't say, so it doesn't answer that question. Does it leave any form of stuff on the panel that's non-volatile that can affect, non-durable protection or materials? Don't really know, but implied no. Or does it leave permanent protection? Don't really know, implied no. You'd think no, it's just a pure cleaning product, but it doesn't delve into it, so it leaves that ambiguity there. No link to online resources, but that's not bad going actually. There's more ticks, I think, here than some of the other ones, so it's not too bad going. But yeah, hopefully that's constructive, and the brands can look at that and say, no, that's nonsense, I'm not carried about that, it's all good, this is all nonsense. Or they can think, yeah, actually, we should put clay lube concentrate in there, and it's a means for the brands to, it's a sanity check, isn't it? Okay, next up, DIY detail. I think the branding on this is better than most of these in this field. There's something about the logo which is good. It's good logo design, that is. Nice, high quality sort of satin label. So what have I put on branding? I don't think I've marked it yet. I'd say that's strong. I'd say it's better than the P&S, it's better than the Wolfgang, possibly better than the Autoglym. I like the Labo branding. It's better than these two. I think it's probably better than the Carbon Collective. I don't think it's as good as the Gyeon. That's a good kind of clean. It's hard. It's all about style, isn't it? But I think it's up there with the Koch, a really good thing. So I'm probably going to give that, for my eye, I think that's an 8 out of 10. So yeah, just put in the comments. It won't be, like I say, it won't be too important. Okay, rinseless wash and shine. So we've got our first bit of controversy here. If it's shining up your paintwork, it's got to be leaving something behind, doesn't it? It's a auto detailing supply. It's a rinseless wash concentrate. I'd keep those bits, rinseless wash concentrate, all together. Made in the USA. There's the health and safety stuff, which is good. Now, here's their preamble. Rinseless wash utilises new technology and emulsifies polymers to lift dirt and debris away from the surface without scratches. Yeah, I think you could just elaborate on that a little bit. I don't, maybe another sentence just on, quite simply, what is a rinseless wash? It's an alternative wash method to traditional soaps, and it's that, and then go on to talk about why there's benefits, reduced water areas, and our advanced formula emulsifies dirt and contains, encapsulates the dirt and stops scratching, all that stuff, all that juicy stuff. They could just expand on that a little bit for me. And they've got the knowledge. Jesus, I think, DIY would be in pole position for actually writing a really good preamble on what a rinseless wash is, and that could be better, I think, but it's not bad. Directions for use: hand washing. Yeah. Notice it doesn't mention, well, it's auto detailing supplies. Okay, yeah. So you're washing your hands with it. I know, I'm being silly now. Add 1 ounce of rinseless wash to 2 gallons in a bucket. So that's 1 to 256. My fluid ounces were coming out as wrong because there's US fluid ounces and some other fluid ounce that are slightly different. So it is 1 to 256, and I've done the calculations based on that, on the price and all that. So add it to your water in a bucket. Soak your plush wash mitt or towel in the bucket. Yeah, they're not trying to plug their own product there, which is probably a little bit of a bonus, because most people will be buying the product and using it with whatever they got. and one wash section at a time using straight lines until clean, then dry it off using a clean microfiber towel. It's so simple, isn't it? But it's on the money. Foam cannon, well, in the UK, someone might not know what that means. Snow foam lance is sort of like the terminology in the UK, but that's just, you know, it's a US, predominantly US brand. Add 4 to 5 ounces, it's all in ounces, that's okay as well. I'd prefer it all in millilitres. If they did both, it would get a bit crowded, so, you know, fine, ounces, I'm starting to get my head around that a little bit. To your foam gun or cannon, what's the difference? The gun is the one that you have on a hose, isn't it? And the cannon's the one you have on a pressure washer. Love the way the Americans, everything's like a gun analogy, like weaponry. Foam cannon. And in England, we've got like we've done the same thing, but we use a lance as the old medieval jouster on a horse. And fill with water, spray car, and then wash mitt soaked, and then use a wash mitt soaked in the Rinseless solution bucket and clean in straight lines. So I think I've given them the pre-soak mark there, yeah, because you effectively, if you spray it over your car, you're pre-soaking it. Use it on a cool surface, so that's the thing I wanted. So they got the mark on the sun. So good branding. Oh, they've missed something out here. When you're following the instructions here verbatim, so you're not doing the hand wash, you look at the foam can and go, right, I'm going to do the foam can and wash. You go through, you follow that, then you use your wash mitt, you soak it in the Rinseless solution, and you clean in straight lines. What have they forgotten? They've forgotten the instructions to tell you to dry it. So if you just clean it, you're going to have wet solution still on the car. So there's a verbatim error there. They've got it here, dry it panel by panel with this method. So maybe you can, I haven't docked them any marks for that, but that's just a little thing that they've could tighten up. There's no ratio there. I just want to see the 1:256 because it just removes all of that ambiguity. It's just a nice clean thing. And I think, you know, the hardcore, the detailing hardcore, which a lot of people are, want to see that ratio. So do I. So pre-soak, yes. Now here's the thing: DIY detail. You could say they were like they're leading the way in rinseless washes in terms of. You know, banging the pots and pans about how good this is. If you know, actually that might not be fair. I'm not sure if they're saying this is amazing, but they sell a rinseless wash product and they're really invested in telling you how to get the most out of it with all their social media content, which is really, really good. But unfortunately, it's not on the bottle. So some of the other brands have managed to get it in the bottle. So can I use this as a clay lube? No idea. No mix ratio for it. Can I use it as a panel wipe? No idea. Waterless wash? No idea. Bugs, QD, water spot, interior? No idea. Now I know you're going to be screaming saying, yes you can, John, yes you can. Because if you go and watch this video here, it shows you it being done there. I need it on the label because all the layman's that are just not on YouTube or whatever, watching YouTube, just going to buy the product and go buy this. So yeah, some of the other brands have thought about that. Even like the O&R have kind of, you've got all these different dilution ratios on the bottle, you know, and we saw it with the Carbon Collective telling you how you can use it in different ways. So they could improve their bottle there and get all that in there. Does it leave anything behind? Well, I think it does. So I put across there, this is all implied, because it says wash and shine, I'm assuming that there is something still on the panel. That it's not all completely volatile and it all disappears. But the reality is it may well do. So I'm basing that on just purely the fact it says wash and shine. But someone else put in the comments, no, this leaves nothing behind. So it goes down to this pedantic argument about whether they leave stuff behind or not. Does it leave any permanent protection? No, but again, because I'm guessing with all this, what I'm looking for is for the brands to put on the bottle, you know, if they put this product, after you've washed your car and white towel dried the car, this product leaves nothing behind other than the clean surface. There's zero ambiguity. If it says wash and shine or it says it leaves a slick finish, then I'm assuming it's leaving a layer of something behind. Like some of you said in the comments to the other video. Where are we? Up here. Branding very good. And yes, they've got the online QR code, which I like. You can scan it and then you just get presented with a link tree of all of their YouTube content where you can just type in whatever you want, Rinseless Wash, and it'll come up, or a link to all the SDSs of the products, which is just great. And it's just so organised. In fact, I talked about a proxy server. You don't need a proxy server, you just use a link tree, because that is a proxy, isn't it? So yeah, you could use Linktree, get the pro Linktree. I use that. Right, so that's DIY detail. Just such a shame, really, because it's good branding, decent instructions, but just it gets a lot of crosses because it's just telling you how to use it as a wash product, really. Okay, let's move on. P&S Absolute. P&S Absolute. Right, this one's got some good things going for it, actually. I think it's got the best preamble out of all of the bottles. Choked out a little bit. It's choked and it doesn't recover if you take it off. So it's sucked it in and done something to that bottle. Yeah, there you go. It's just a little pet hate of mine. But it's a really good preamble. Absolute Rinseless Wash was formulated from the ground up as a premium soap alternative. All right, it's a car soap alternative. All right, that's what it does, is it? Utilising a unique subset of polymers. What's that? Polymers. Absolute encapsulates and emulsifies dirt beyond what a soap is capable of. Soap water is oh Jesus! I've been doing it. My brain's shutting down. Sorry. Beyond what a soap is capable of. Water is instantly softened on mixture of Absolute, thus reducing chances of hard water spotting. The end result is a purely clean and slick surface. Absolute allows you, well, if it's clean and slick are two different things. Absolute allows you to wash vehicles anywhere, anytime, whether you're a detailing professional or passion-driven enthusiast. Oh yeah, what about a passion-driven professional? There've got to be some of them out there. They can't all be just like fed up with detailing. Whether you're, I've just done that. Absolute is safe and easy to use on all exterior and interior surfaces. Good. I like this. Designed for use on paint coatings, wraps, PPF trim. Good. One of very few to go into all that. Plastics, leather and upholstery. Good. Absolute clean. Absolutely efficient. Absolutely absolute. That's like the old, they hit you with a really good sales speech there, and at the end they really just give you that, cranking that up, the treble statement. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I like that. That's probably the best preamble out of all of them, with a good idea of what this product's all about and the benefits and the emulsification, the encapsulation, and where I can go with it. We've then got the directions. The Absolute Rinseless experience is the best approach when the vehicle is cool and dry to the touch. Great, so it ticks that box. Shade is preferred, but it can also be used in direct sunlight. Great, with washing one section at a time. Add 1 ounce to 2 gallons, 256:1 dilution. So it's given us the ratio marks as well. Great. Submerge the wash mitt on multiple microfiber towels and mix the product thoroughly. This does need a bit more mixing than some of the others, actually. It's not as soluble in water as some of the other ones. It needs a bit of disturbing. It needs a bit of like aggro, you know, get the old hand in there and the wash media and stir it all up quite aggressively to make sure it all breaks down. You do still get some little tiny dots of product that don't break down in the water. At least I did. But overall, that's okay. Squeeze the excess product from the wash media and begin washing from top to bottom, dipping back into the bucket often. Pro tip, soiled areas can be pre-treated. Great, using 256:1 in the trigger or pump sprayer. So these instructions are getting on the long side now, especially recommended for heavily soiled areas. No rinsing is required after each panel has been wiped down. Simply take a brush microfiber, towel dry each area to a smooth finish. For use as a quick detailer, great. Dilute 1:64. Use as a clay lube, dilute 1:28. For glass and interiors, 1:256. Enjoy the versatility of Absolute. They've covered most of the bases there, and then there's a little bit on the bottom about Rennie Doyle Master Level Detailer, which is great. That's probably part of the deal of having his name on that bottle, but that's great, and it's all part of that. All of their products have that as well, so that's fine. The cool thing is they've covered a lot of the bases there. Now let's just look at the branding. I've put on here 6.5 as well. I think it's quite good. I just think this picture's a bit weird. It's like the sort of thing you take with your drone if you're on holiday. Picture of a road, some bushes and a lake. You know, I'd rather see like a wash media swiped through a trail of dirt and it's all clean and slick behind. Something a bit more appropriate than a pan view of a kind of landscape. Don't know, it's just me. Yeah, so I gave that 6.5. There's no link to online media, and I think P&S is a sort of like, now they're sort of an established brand, but still relatively new. I think they should look at doing that, you know, really look at the social media side of it. But yeah, top instructions really. I've talked about the little bits in there. They cover all of those health and safety ratios, sun use, pre-soak, yes, clay lube. Some of these are not there. So could it be used as a panel wipe? Maybe it can't, but I don't know because it doesn't cover it. But, you know, it can't be used as a panel wipe basically, so I can't give it a tick. I don't think it mentions waterless wash. I'll double check that. Bugs can be used as a QD. Some of you might argue it's similar, but I'm looking for the word waterless wash. Water spots, yeah, it implies it's good on those. Well, not implies, it says it's like water softeners to help with all that stuff. Interior, does it leave nothing behind? No, I think it implies it does leave something on the surface which is non-permanent. So one of the better ones that is in terms of instruction quality. They've got that right before in the past. So whoever's writing their instructions, I think has a good feel for what they need. Could be condensed a little bit, but no, it's fine. That's better than most of them. So there you go. Hope that comes across as constructive opinions on certain things with some facts around what's there and what isn't, and all that sort of stuff. Okay, Feynlab. Again, not the biggest fan of these dosing bottles. This is a litre version. Again, the label, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just slightly lopsided. It's down on the left and up on the right slightly. But it looks quite cool. It's quite a clean, I like the brand logo. I like the font they've used there. It's a really clean, labby style thing. Preparation, automotive, pure rinseless V3, high grade, intensive rinseless wash. Now, here's the thing. We go over here and it goes straight into directions really, with no preamble about this product. So really all you know from the front is that it's a high grade rinseless wash. But if you don't know what a rinseless wash is, it doesn't really give you any preamble. So I think they should have that. Dilute 1 to 250 in a bucket of water to create rinseless solution. Prepare a second clean bucket. What happens if you only got one bucket? Dip your wash media into the rinseless solution and wash down a panel. Immediately dry the towel using a Feynlab drying towel, okay, their own drying towel. Rinse the wash mitt in a clean water bucket and then repeat the process for other panels. Fine. And then we've got the health and safety stuff there. I don't think there's any mention of heat or sun or any of that stuff, but we have got the ratio. So let's just go through Feynlab. So zero preamble on the product, and the fact that it requires you to do a 2-bucket method to follow the instructions are the things I've picked up on. Good health and safety, ratios provided, can't be used, or it doesn't tell you about being careful in the sun with residues, so it's an unknown, so it's got the cross there. No pre-soak option, no clay lube option, none of these. No other use apart from putting it in the buckets and doing your 2-bucket contactless rinseless wash method. So they've missed a trick there. I mean, it may well be the case that they don't want you to use it for any of these, which is fine, but then you can't get the marks, can you? No information. It doesn't talk about whether it leaves nothing behind, whether there's non-permanent or permanent protection, a bit like the Autoglym, so it's just unknowns. It's quite sharp branding. I quite like that. I've given it a 7 out of 10. Label was tilted. I can forgive that, but you know, it's nice to get the labels on straight. And it does have a QR code down there for online information. And if you go there, there's a YouTube video on the product, which is great. So not bad, actually. And yeah, just again, they fall into the category of they just missed a trick there on these, because these rinseless washes are they're a versatile tool. And a tool, usually lots of detailing products, you get them. You can get like a tyre cleaner. You can get a wheel cleaner. You can get a glass cleaner. You can get this, but some people like the less chemicals you can do and the more things you can do with one product. some people really like that. And there's lots of other usage of these Rinseless, and the more invested you are in it, the more you can come up with, hey guys, you can use it to do this and you can use it to do that. Okay, so the next one is the Gyeon ECO Wash. So it's got like a kind of eco theme to it, which is unique here. You know, the fact that they're environmentally friendly and you're using less water. So they've thought that was important enough to kind of put in the product name. The branding for this is top drawer. You've got a Gyeon stamp branded bottle somewhere, haven't you? Has it got the name Gyeon? I thought these bottles were Gyeon branded in the plastics, or some of them are. That one isn't, but it's their kind of bottle, isn't it? And it's unique to everything on the market. It's got a tamper-proof lid. The design is very, very nice. The colour scheme is good. It's one of the better brandings in here, if not the best. What have I said about this? Okay. Instructions. So SI infused, this is their preamble. An SI infused rinseless and waterless wash, great as a drying aid or an anti-static wipe on events. Yeah, I think on events, they mean like if you're taking your car to a show, leaves a slick, glossy and enhanced finish. That's implying it's leaving something behind. I think, again, the preamble around what a rinseless wash is could be improved. They tend to not put lots of information on their products, but I'd like to see that on there just so the layman's guy knows what this is, really. I don't know. Okay, waterless wash. Okay, so dilute it 1 to 10 or 1 to 15. So we've got ratios there. But actually, hold on a second. Spray liberally on the surface, wipe in a straight line motion. I picked up here, wipe it with what? You might think I'm being pedantic, but if someone's a real idiot and they're following these instructions, could they wipe it with their hands? Most people say, like, wipe it with a drying towel, or they give you their own product. So they're just assuming there that you're going to have a microfiber cloth, or, would you wipe it with a dirty towel or something, So sometimes they say wipe with a clean, dry microfiber towel. Gyeon could also put in there, use a bald wipe or use a polish wipe because they've got all that stuff. But I'm not going to mark up on that because I've criticised Autoglym for using the Insta-Dry too much, haven't I? Okay, Rinseless. Use 50 to 80 ml in 12 litres of water. I'd like them to not put that variance there. It does allow you to strengthen the solution by using more, or get more value for money by using less. So it gives you a bit of flexibility, which you could argue is good. But I like to know the ratio. So if I work out 65 ml to 12 litres, which is the midpoint, I think we said it was around 101 to 185, but I need the ratio on there, so I'm not going to give them the ratio mark. Now, soak multiple MF in your wash solution. I don't think they should use the letter MF. I think they should put microfiber in there. They've got the space. It would just push it a little bit over, but they've got the space. Don't abbreviate that to MF, because people might not know what MF is. In your wash solution, wash panel by panel, towels of 10, change towels often, 4 candles, drying aid, they've got the ratio for that, spray on wet surface, etc. Keep out of reach of children, so I'll give them the health and safety, but it's not much health and safety. Normally, this is a pre-release, so maybe sometimes there's a little stuck-on thing that Gyeon put on all their products because they go around the world, and they've got the different health and safety in different languages. So I'll give them that. But yeah, there's some things we've picked up on that could be improved. Oh, they also don't tell you in those instructions to dry. So change towels often. So really, they just get you to wash it, go over it with your microfiber, but they don't put a separate instruction there to dry off that residue over the film. A few of them have missed that. That needs to be in there, I think. So let's just go through it all. Yeah, so health and safety is there. Ratios need to be there for the rinseless. Doesn't talk about the sun, from what I can see, and heat. In terms of what you can use it for, they do give you some alternatives. So you can use it as a waterless wash and a QD, but I'd like to see them tell you about using it as a clay lube. Maybe it's not suitable as a panel wipe, which is fine. Interior wipe downs, water spot removers, I don't know. Well, they know because it's not on there. it implies it leaves something behind, perhaps a film with SiO2 that's non-permanent. So I don't think it, you know, it's not in that category of leaving nothing, but it's not in the category of being a sealant as well. Hold on, where are we? Oh yeah, here, sorry. Branding 9 out of 10. Yeah, probably the best looking product in there. There won't be a lot of marks for that, and that can be objective. Someone could say, actually, I don't like that branding, I prefer that one, or I prefer that one, whatever. I tend to not like, that's an example of something there that I don't like so much, and I'm not so keen on the Optimum one as well. I quite like the Labo one, but maybe it's all personal, I don't know. Okay, they do have quick codes to online resources, and Gyeon are very good with their doing everything like that, you know, the social media side of it, the marketing side of it. They're very, very good. So on to McKees now. So my back's aching, just talking, my throat's going. But hopefully this, I don't know who's still here. If you're still here, put in the comments, I made it to the McKees. We've been going an hour. McKees 37 N914 is a bit of a mouthful as a product name. Rinseless wash combines 4 useful products into one highly concentrated formula. Uses a rinseless or waterless wash. What is a rinseless wash? Tell me. You guys are the experts in it. Put your preamble in about what it is. Use it as a clay lubricant or paint prep. Well, good that it's telling me about the functions, but it's missed an opportunity there. It creates a protective layer of lubrication and protects and prevents marring and swirls caused by dirt, grit and synthetic clay alternatives. Interesting. Good. I like that. No nonsense formula will not alter the look, feel, or performance of your wax sealant or coating. This highly concentrated formula does not contain protective polymers or glossing agents. It's a pure cleaner with nothing extra. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. They're the only ones that sort of kind of say that, you know. It's like, that is a really good statement that that I wish more of them would put on the product. Really good. And it goes on here to give you all the different dilution ratios for the rinseless, you know, for it's how you use it, and it has a QR code. However, what's missing? What's missing? Come on. Been watching for an hour. What's missing? I picked up on this when I reviewed this. There's no instructions. It's the only product in this test which doesn't really have any instructions. Now, McKees are assuming that you know what the product is, you know how to use it, you're going to mix it down, you're going to pick the wash media, you're going to wash it on, you're going to work panel by panel, you're not going to worry about the sun. All this stuff, they just assume that you know it, whereas every other brand has given you some sort of set of instructions and a few things to watch out for. That's a little bit clumsy for me. It's probably the biggest oversight in all the instructions that I've seen, the lack of instructions. Do you agree? I don't know. That's not shocked me, but it's just a bit clumsy. And I'm surprised because I talked about that probably 2 or 3 years ago when I reviewed this, and they've updated the version and stuck another V2 on there, but they've not, you know, that's an opportunity when you change versions to go back in and correct your labelling and all that. So they obviously feel like they don't need instructions on this product, which might make it less suitable for people that are completely new to rinseless washing and are looking for a little bit of guidance around what it is and how you go about using it. So perhaps more, we assume you know what you're doing. If you don't, our product might not be for you. Is that, I don't know, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think the branding is a little bit kind of oldie American. I don't know, sort of the badge. It's okay, but it just doesn't quite do it for me. I don't know why. But it's okay, a bit of carbon fibre looking kind of effect. The health and safety is good. So you kind of know where we're going with this now. Ticks on health and safety, ratios, no sun warning. Some good information around some other usage. I think they're the first ones to say you could use it as a panel prep. But they've missed some other opportunities about how you could use it, where they could just pick up marks. Great that they're telling you it leaves nothing behind. They're the only one really where I've got no ambiguity and they've really answered the question. 5 out of 10 for the branding. That's an average kind of mark. A bit old school, that's what I've put. What's that? Old. What's that? 1 to 2 shades. Old school, I think. Yeah, something like that. Good that they've got the online stuff there. So yeah. But when I come to do the marks and the instructions, that's going to get the lowest mark, isn't it? Because it's the only one with no instructions, so it has to. Tell me, I'm always conscious that I'm being unfair or something like that. You know, I'm always conscious of that. So if I'm being unfair on that, let me know. This is McKees, is what I've been using over there. I mean, I've used half a litre in a year or 2 years, so I don't often use it. But I've had no problems with version 1 of the product. So I know all about this product, and it's a good waterless wash, but I'm learning stuff about it in this test that I'd never learned before from just using it. So let's move on to Optimum No Rinse, the original, the kind of, you know, the pioneering, maybe not the first waterless or rinseless wash on the market, but certainly the one that popularised it, I think, because of all the effort that was done by Ivan LaCroix, with, you know, of DIY Details, when he used to work for Optimum and do all of the social media stuff around how you can use this and why you might be interested in rinseless washes. And I think a lot of that work popularised these products. It's just a disaster for Optimum to really lose someone like that as a brand, to lose someone like that. You know, if I was running that business, you know, you got someone like that doing that much social media work, for me, they would become indispensable. It would be a case of, how much do you want me to pay you? Whatever you want, you can have it, because it would drive your business. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've lost business since Ivan has left. But you never know. You never know anyway. That's all just gossipy stuff, isn't it? And it's, you know, things change, people move jobs and all that sort of stuff. So let's get back onto the product. Optimum No Rinse Wash and Shine. Wash and Shine is the cheapest, safest, fastest way to wash your car, requiring only 2 gallons of water. I'm sorry about the focus. Easily wash away dirt and grime, while proprietary polymers encapsulate dirt and protect your vehicle from marring. Follow with Optimum Car Wax or Optimum Seal for maximum protection, shine and slickness. It's a decent preamble, that. Decent. I sort of know that it's a wash method, and the fact it's got wash and shine, rinseless, rinse-free car wash products, I sort of get the gist of what they're going on about. It could be better, but it's decent. Safe for all exterior and interior applications. All interior applications. You're going to wash your headlining with it, are you? You know, you're not going to wash your carpet with it. I suppose you could. You could try. Save money on product and your water bill. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? First ones to say save money on product and water bill. They're not that much cheaper than traditional car soaps. In fact, maybe even more expensive than the ones I use. But the fact you're not using pre-wash with it, the fact you're not busting out the pressure washer using electricity, you might not have to buy a pressure washer, and you're not blasting through gallons of water every time. You will save money if you just wash your car with this. Although you'll need to remortgage your house if you want to buy a big red sponge. Sorry. Water softening reduces hard water spotting. Great. Superior slickness, gloss and hydrophobicity. Well, that implies that it's actually leaving something behind which sticks around if it's adding hydrophobicity. Because it repels water, it's not going to just rinse off or wash off when it's out in the rain. Streak-free showroom finish. Fine. Instructions: add 1 ounce to 2 gallons of water in a bucket, soak Optimum big red sponge in the bucket and wash solution one at a time till the area is clean. Dry each section, yeah. If the surface dries before wiping clean, yeah, just wash it and dry again. That's a good little tip that's not in any other ones. Excessively dirty surfaces may require a second wash before drying. And there's all these dilution ratios for other usage that they sort of haven't really delved into, because it could become a bit of a marathon to go into all these. But wash solution, clay lube, quick detail, interior glass, home cleaning. Brilliant, that's all on there. Health and safety stuff is all there. There's another little product preamble there. No online links to anything. The bottle of this is very thin and quite flimsy. The branding is improved, like they've rebranded and gone for this kind of, you know, this like chemical structure thing, which is really quite snazzy actually under there. But it's just ruined by all this kind of text on the side and that white barcode thing. It just ruins the look of it. And the revision 5 label is old-fashioned and like gold. I'll just incorporate it into your labels, a little V5 somewhere. But that requires obviously printing off new labels and editing your labels. But I just think that big sticker on there, I don't like that. It's okay though. It's okay. What did I put about the branding? 6 out of 10. I think it's about right. A bit cluttery, the label. That's all. Thin bottle as well. No online stuff, but not bad. Not bad. It's got more ticks than most. That has. They've been around, so they tend to. They've got all the sort of basics right. Okay, we're going on to the Labo Hydro Save, which is the Labocosmetica. We are including this obviously now, but I wasn't sure before. But I think it's fine actually, and it hasn't caused me any problems because this has a nano sealant included. Just say I think the bottle was pretty cool. It's a bespoke Labo made bottle, which is never cheap to do because you've got to do, you know, the production runs for the bottles are vast, so a lot of small companies have to use you know, standard Boston style PET bottles, whereas, you know, it tells you that they got some resources that they're using bespoke bottles basically. It does look good. I like that. I think that branding is really good actually. The blue and gold is quite unique. Let's just have a look. Oh, okay. Now, instructions. They start over here, yeah? They've got the QR codes. But then when you've got to read them, you've got to keep spinning the bottle around. And you've got to keep spinning the bottle around. And you've got to keep spinning the bottle around. It's like, it's really kind of hard to read. It's like a typewriter. You have to keep scrolling backwards and forwards across it, okay? Which is a bit of a pain. It starts off saying, for an even more intense action on particularly stubborn dirt, use Labocosmetica's Preludo Alkaline and Preludo Acid as an, what's that say? As an emollient. It's quite a technical term. Pre-treatment in the recommended dilution base. So really, Labocosmetica have got like an alkaline rinseless pre-wash and an acidic an acidic rinseless pre-wash. So you could say that's pretty cool, isn't it? Because they're really into their pre-washes and they've given you that alkaline and acid thing that they've done with their normal wash process. So they've got a real, that's part of the big theme of the brand, is this alkaline to degrease first, acid to shrink all the solid particle stuff. So they've got, that's kind of quite good. Although you might be reading it and panicking, thinking, "Oh, I can't use this on its own." You can, but you know, it's kind of recommendation there, so that's fine. Prepare with a bucket and prepare a bucket with a grid. Yeah, that's lost in translation really. I mean, it's grit guard, isn't it? Would be the better wording. Dilute the product at a ratio 1 to 200. Brilliant. Thank you for giving me the ratio. Directly in the bucket. Immerse the soft microfiber glove. Yeah, okay, all right. Or mitt. Again, the translators kind of let them down there. On a sponge into the bucket. Glide the glove or sponge over the vehicle without applying pressure. Dry with a microfiber cloth. That's all fine. Work on one panel at a time. Back to the front. Where was I? Repeat steps 1 to 6 until completely clean. And some tips there for marring and colour intensity. My brain's shutting down. It really is, holding this camera. I've gone through this once already. So let's just cut to the chase. The scrolling is the thing that I think it's difficult to read. What is a grid? I'm not going to mark them down on that, but it should be grit guard, really be better words. What does that say? Oh, the sticker. So yeah, someone else picked up on this on the comments. So they've put a sticker on the bottle, and the branding is so sharp on this that it's a shame that they didn't put the sticker in the middle. It should just line up with the logo there. And and the sticker tells you it's a nano sealant. Someone put in the comments that when they published this, they didn't put in there to tell you that about the nano sealant, which is a pretty big oversight, and the instructions kind of don't talk about it. So they've almost thought, oh, we've missed that, and put the sticker on. I think long term you'd probably want to redo your label, so maybe that was a short-term fix for me. But it's not ideal, is it? But I guess if something goes wrong, you've got to try and fix it. It does have the good health and safety, actually, loads of health and safety. Ratios are included, doesn't tell me about using in the sun. Doesn't say that you can use this product as a pre-soak, but you probably can't, because it's got, like, they've got specific products for that, so they do cover that base, but not with this product. Clay lube, no, probably not if it's nano sealant. Panel wipe, no, not if it's putting sealant down. Can be used as a waterless wash, can be used as a quick detailer, probably be quite a good quick detailer if it's got sealant. So I suppose here, you know categorically that it is leaving perhaps some bonding protection, nano sealant down. The only one actually. At least it is clear with the sticker, I suppose, now. I think the branding 7 is harsh, actually. I think it's better than that, don't you? I think that branding, it stands out. I'd say that's probably up there with the Gyeon. I think it's probably, that branding is good. That bottle is premium. I'd say that's got to be a 9, not a 7. Just a shame about having to spin the bottle around so much. But it's not a massive deal. It's not a massive deal. Probably more ticks than most, but there's a few things that I've picked up on there that could be improved. So there we go. Whew. Oh, they do have on the Labo as well a link, a QR code with a link to online resources. And I think they are, I don't know how active they are on social media actually, but they were active a while ago. And I think it's really important to be active and showing people about your products and your systems and all that sort of stuff. In fact, I think if you're not doing that, you're on borrowed time, because that's going to become more and more of a thing over the next few years, and you're going to see a battle going on the online spaces to get followings online. That's going to be the battleground, whereas historically it'd be marketing through magazines, you know, events, but it will all be online. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that rubbish. YouTube's the best one. There you go, guys. What do you think about my analysis of all these products? I've got to translate everything we've gone through into points, like I've already said, which I'm going to go through and do now. But it will give us clear winners. I think just with clear winners within just this particular remit, I think that will do quite well. That won't be too bad. That won't be too bad. That won't do so well. That won't be too bad. That'll be somewhere in the middle. That could be improved with better preambles, and that won't do so well because it's lacking information, but it looks pretty sharp. That's a pretty good standard with some room to improve. The DIY suffered because it hasn't really explained how to use it for various other functions, even though it's fundamentally solid. The small branding on that, but that's better than average, the Armour one, I think, overall, especially with the product preamble and all that sort of stuff from memory. And breathe. So yeah, I spent a couple of hours this morning going through doing that, and I'll spend another hour just converting that into points. What's going on with the rest of the test? Well, I'm going to be carrying on working my way through the products. They're all mixed down in these clean buckets at manufacturer recommended ratios, and I'll be using some of them on cars. I've got more testing to do. I've got so many ideas on testing, actually. I was thinking of actually, every test, though, has a problem. Like, I was thinking this morning I could do a clay bar marring test. So I use every single one of them as a clay lube on a test panel down there, polish it to oblivion so it's like a ice rink, and then go over and use them all as clay bar lubes, and try and just clay, just try and be consistent, and clay for 10 seconds. On to the next one, fresh bit of clay, spray it down, clay for 10 seconds. But then some of them aren't advertised as clay bars, lubes. So I think, in fact, only a couple of them are, so that test would be invalid, I think, because say if 80% of them aren't for use as clay lubes, and I'm testing them all that way. So that suddenly threw a spanner in the works. My marring test, I think, will be more around encapsulating dirt. So I'll polish this test panel to oblivion to try and get it 99% swirl free, and then create fixed volumes of dirt simulator with maybe some added sand. That's what I was thinking, even though, you know, how accurate can it be? But if I can measure the sand out rather than just put it in one big dispersion and put some on, set quantity of a sort of bit of dirt, if you like, in a solution, and then put that onto the panel, put the wash media, soak it in the rinseless wash, put it on top, put a set weight on top and slide it backwards and forwards 10 times or 5 times, or whatever, think about it all, and then take it off, repeat the test 12 times. Try and lock down the variables, and then just look under the light at the state of each panel. The ones with less marring have obviously done a better job encapsulating it. But again, it's about finding that tipping point. I don't think I've ever done anything like this before. And what the danger is, you could find that the whole test, you go through and do the whole test and they're all the same because the test wasn't aggressive enough. Or if the test is too aggressive, you've just got a level of marring on all of them because it couldn't handle the sand, you know, or the pressure was too much. So it's trying to find a tipping point where the test gives us, we can make the test consistent but also repeat it and get a different spread of results that are valid. We need to do some sort of test like that, and I think that's what we'll do. It's going to take a bit of thought, and it might take a few attempts, and I've got limited clear coat, so I'll probably have to end up getting that repainted again. Depends. So that's it for the time being, guys. This is a very informal video, a very long video, but it just brings you in on some of the work that we do for each section of each test. And by the time we've finished this video, more work will have gone into this than pretty much any other test on YouTube that I've seen anyway. It really will. That's not just blowing my own trumpet, it just is. I'm mentally shot already from just going through crunching that data. But then when you do the same thing again, when you do the test, you've got to set it all up, prepare it, think it all through in your head first to make sure it's solid. It's not as easily done as you think. And here's an ironic thing for anyone that's still hanging around. The more testing you do like this, and the more you show people, the more what you do gets criticised. If I did a video and kept it very simple and said, yeah, welcome to the best rinseless wash video. I've been using these products for the last 2 days, 2 months. And in this video, I'm going to tell you which ones to buy. And here's my #1 recommendation. This one has got the ultimate cleaning power and the ultimate slickness. And I could do that and I would get less questions about the integrity of it than actually going through and showing you all these tests where you show people and they're like, well, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong. You've got to just take that on the chin. You've just got to take it on the chin. The more you show, the more you get people pick up on the little details and say, oh, I'd have done it this way, I'd have done it that way. Well, unless you've done it, it's one thing saying it, it's another thing doing it. Trust me, it's a lot of work for not a lot of views. But anyway, I love it. I do love it. That's why we do it. I love it. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Subscribe. Doug.